Okay, so let's go over and check the fuel, and while we're checking the fuel, we'll look at all the other stuff around the fuel.
Okay.
And it's right by the tire here.
Under?
Yeah, right in front of the tire. See that little?
Yeah. This right here?
Yep. So you push with the other side. We're gonna catch it in the tube.
He was in Santa Barbara for a number of years and then retired.
Okay, now we have a bunch in the fuel in there. Hold it up against something white.
Yeah. And we'll see if
And we'll see if there's any water in it.
No, looks good.
Looks good. Okay. So now we open the cap. We pour it in. You just turn it upside down, pour it in. No, upside down. Yep. And then we look at the cap to make sure that rubber piece on the cap is good. So there's a pink rubber piece on the cap itself. And that looks good. So then we put it back on. Okay, and then we come back down underneath here and we look at our tire. And it looks good. And then if we look, there's a little thing right there. There's no bugs that decided to put anything in there, right? So that's nice and clean. That's where the vent is for the tank. Okay, and then we take our fingers and we do 3 fingers on the strut. To make, see the silver part on the strut there?
Yeah.
We want it to be about 3 fingers, and that's about right.
Got it.
Actually, 4 of your fingers probably. No, the silver part, on the strut coming down. See on the silver right above the tire?
Silver right above the. Yeah, here.
Yeah, and we want it to be about 3 fingers wide, the other direction. Yeah, so that's about right. So it's about the right height. And then we look and see, is there any brake fluid over on the right-hand side of the tire? Doesn't look like there's any brake fluid there, does there?
Nope.
Okay, so we're good there. So now we come over here, and as we're walking by the prop, we take our finger and rub it along there. And then we rub our finger along here. Do you feel any big nicks or scratches? Do we see any nicks? We're pretty good.
No.
So that's good. Now we do the exact same thing over here.
Should I take some fuel?
Yep, we take some fuel, and we can do all the other stuff at the same time. Just push it up, straight up. There we go. That should do us. And while you're underneath there in the shade, you can hold it up against something white and see if it, you see any water in there?
No.
Okay. Now, how about the strut? Does it look like it's about 3 fingers?
Yeah.
Okay. And then do you see any brake fluid on the brake lines?
No.
And then how does the tire look? We just changed the other one, so it's brand new. This one doesn't look as new, but it doesn't look too bad, right? No big nicks in it, no scratches.
No.
Okay, so now we come up and we look over here at our vent, make sure that no bugs got in there.
Yeah, no bugs.
And now while we're here, there's our pitot tube. So we look and see if there's a hole in front of it. That's where your airspeed is.
Here?
Yep, you see a little hole there?
Uh-huh.
Now look around behind it and see if there's a little hole behind it.
Yeah.
That's your static port. So we're good there. Okay, so now we come up here and we put the fuel in the tank. Okay, and then we look and see, does the top of the, now we also need to come over here and we need to check this part right here. This is the gasculator, and we want to do the same thing we did with the fuel. Check to see if there's any water in the fuel here. Okay, and hold that up against there. Looks pretty good to you? So dump it in. And then while we're dumping it, before we put the cap back on, we want to check to make sure that that vent is good. So look in the pink thing there and see if it looks good.
Yep.
Okay, and just put that on nice and tight. Okay, so now we put that away. And it goes underneath the back seat here. See the, yeah, so we'll just put it right here. Now if you can go in the plane,
Yeah.
and there's a flap handle there. Do you see the flap handle?
Yeah.
Pull the flap handle up all the way. Okay, and let it go. And now, you see those red? See the red?
Yeah.
Push the furthest one on the left. Push it in.
This one?
Yeah. Okay. Now you hear you hear the spinning up of the turn coordinator?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's electric. Okay, so now we get out. And we be careful here, we can't step when it's down. So we'll walk over here and we're in luck. This guy is working. That's working.
Yep.
And now do the,
Yep, this strobe's working.
all right, it's working today. Wonderful. Now we want to check to see if the stall warning, so that little knob, that little flat piece right there, push it up. Okay, that would be the stall. That's working fine. I'm going to turn off the power now. And now we're going to go, actually we can start right here. We're going to look for anything weird anywhere around us, okay? So all these are in good. Okay, and then we're walking around. Any big dents or anything? The fuel cap we definitely have on.
Yep.
Okay, the wingtip, nothing got busted when we took it in and out of the plane. Now, what's the name of that part right there?
Aileron.
Okay, ailerons go up and down, so push it up. Make sure it goes up. And then goes down. Okay, that's good. Now we look at all of these hinges here. Make sure they all look like they're in there good and tight. So look at this one here, there's 3 of them.
Yep. And yes.
Okay, so then we come over here and we look and grab this guy. He shouldn't move too much, just a little bit. We look at that hinge over there, make sure it's in there tight.
Yep.
Okay, and then grab the antennas, make sure that they stay where they go.
Yep.
Okay, and this is our stabilator. So we move it up and down to make sure it's working. Move it side to side, and if it goes side to side, that's a bad thing. It doesn't, the whole plane moves, right? And the rudder is tied to the nose wheel. So the rudder isn't gonna move
Unless the nose
because the nose wheel isn't moving, okay? So we just keep walking around. We have another antenna here that we look at. Make sure that antenna is attached.
Yep.
And then here's a static port here for the autopilot. So we make sure that nothing got in there. Okay, and then we look at these flaps and ailerons on this side, make sure the same thing. Doesn't move much at all. And then this one here goes up and down. Okay, and then we come around here, make sure that all this stuff here looks good.
Yep.
And then we're back to the beginning. So everything looks good on the plane. So we're ready to go.
All right.